this is where we're at. I've already subdivided my mannequin, so right at the parietal ridge and on top of that occipital bone. Now, the further you take this parting down, the more you'll layer at the top and the less you'll have at the bottom. So the more, if you want to have a little thicker feeling to the bottom, then go ahead and leave a little bit more. Oh, Toronto sends a big hello. Hello, Toronto. I love you guys up there. I'm actually going to be there. I'm signing some contracts for my Canada dates already, so I'll see you soon. So the more you leave in the bottom, the thicker or more density you can keep at the bottom of your shag haircut. So I always like to start at the parietal ridge, and then I can always add more if I need to. So I'm going to actually clip this out of the way. So I'll just take this back, and then I just do a loose little braid. It doesn't really matter if a couple of things get cut, but we want to keep the majority of our bulk in there. Now, as I was saying, I'm going to be doing a diagonal forward feeling for my shag. Yeah, I just got some hearts. You guys, if you like this, give me hearts, because I didn't realize that that was a big deal, but it is a big deal. So anyway, I'm working with horizontal parting right here. So my layering pattern could be horizontal. If I wanted it to be the same all the way around, I could take and pull all the hair up, cut round, cut square, but if I pull the hair straight up, the hair will fall straight down. If I pull the hair back, which is what I want to do, it will fall forward. If I pull the hair forward, it will fall back. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So we've clipped the underneath out of the way. Hello. I've taken a parting right across the high point of the head. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work my layering pattern in the back first. And this already has a layering pattern in it, so I'm going to take it shorter, and then we'll blend a little bit if we want to at the end. So I'm going to do this full haircut, and we'll just kind of see how we progress. So I'm going to start with a central vertical section, and then I'll take pivoting sections. I'm going to use a traveling guide right here because I want this back to be even. When you use a traveling guide, you create an even length. When you start over directing, you create that length in the opposite direction. So let's go ahead and lower her just a little bit. I think you guys can still see. Okay. So I'm using my straight angel blade razor, my straight edge, and I like using these for shags because it just gives that nice open, like loose feeling to your cut. So that central vertical guide, and I think I'm going to cut square on top. And the reason for that is when you cut a square, you leave a little bit of length as the head rounds away from you. So just by cutting a square on top here, I'm cutting short to long, which will always blend a little bit better. Okay, the comments are covering the haircut area. Okay, I will move it down just a little bit. Hopefully that's better. Should be able to see that a little bit better. I know it's so hard with the comments because they come up so high. So, okay, here we go. I'm going to have to take this relatively short because there's already layers on top and I want to create that disconnection. So here we go. I'm going to go right about here. And I'm going to turn my razor around and work with an upward stroke in a square pattern. So that razor is going to give me a nice soft edge while still cutting me like a structured line. So traveling guide means I'll take part of my previous section, pivot, and then comb that hair up directly to my guide. I can see my guide. And when you're working with a razor, what you have to do is you actually have to slide past your guide. So if you guys can see this, you can see where my density stops right about there. So I'm going to go up to that, you slide past where you see your density, and that's where you cut. And I'm using a medium stroke, meaning I'm just coming up, let's say maybe an inch. You can do a really open stroke where if you want to get really, what a shame, it's in English. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know how to make it not in English. I can't speak any other languages at this point. So, just going around, if I did a more of an open stroke, I'd get a much more soft result, a more kind of a frayed edge. So here we go, past my guide. and create that. So is everybody out there having dinner or a glass of wine? I wish I was. I will be soon. Okay, here we go with my square right there. Okay. So you can see that. Just nice little, oops, my braid came out. I should clip that. Hang on. Just clip that out of the way. Going through, I'm going to continue my pivoting sections around to the other side. Pizza and wine with your friends, love it. And I love that you're watching my video while you're having pizza and wine. Okay, here we go, straight up and working square. I find razor cutting to be really a way to move very fast through a haircut. Okay, I have a question of what's the difference between using an open blade, like what I'm doing, so this is an open blade, and using a feather razor, which has a built-in guard on it. And to me, the difference is that I can control my, my shape a little bit better with this because it cuts 100% of the hair. Whereas when you're cutting with a feather razor, you have to cut a little bit more because you have that guard on it. So it would be almost like trying to create the same shape with a texturizer. You can do it, it just takes more cuts to do it. But you can totally do this with a razor that has a guard on it. We're actually looking at developing one because not all states actually allow these, and also not everybody wants to use them. They can be scary. So, okay, so now I think I'll keep this to the side here so you guys can see. So this is the high point of the head, which will be the shortest point of my layers moving forward. So I'm going to be taking a central parting, and then I'll take horizontal sections on each side of that parting, over directing back to a stationary guide. Now, when you use a stationary guide, it creates length very rapidly the opposite direction. So the back was done with a traveling guide, so that creates a uniform length. And then the front is going to be done with a stationary guide, which creates more length in the opposite direction from where you're working. Hang on, the comments stopped, so let me bring that up. There we go. Okay, so here we go with our center guide, or not guide, just center parting. And I'll show you from the side and from the front. So this from the side on this side so that you can see the over direction, and then from the front I'll show you so you can see the actual line that I'm cutting. Okay, I hope all of you have wonderful plans for Thanksgiving coming up. We are going to be, my husband and I will be at the Seahawks game. I don't know why they had to play on Thanksgiving, but we'll be at the Seahawks game. So wish them well, except for if you're in San Francisco, you don't want us to do well. Okay, enough about football. Here we go. I'm still cutting my square line and over directing back. I'm working just on the one side of the parting. I find it easier if you kind of divide and conquer so that you don't have too much hair in your hand. So you can see I'm over directing everything back. I've got my stationary guide right here. Turning my razor around so I can work with a stroke where I'm moving up, right like that. I don't know how much more of this is going to reach. Let's bring it back just a little bit. And you can see how much length we're developing as it travels forward. So I'll show you that in just a moment. Here we go, everything coming back. I'm not collapsing down. This would create more length. I want everything to come back to this one point and working up. There we go. Now watch the travel of length as we go the opposite direction. Look how long this gets. So my layers in the back are here, and this front is this long. That's what that created. So just by over directing back, we're getting more length in the front, and it's going to push forward. So we're going to have a diagonal forward movement before it kicks back. So I had a question, did I use my guide from the back? Absolutely. So I took a central vertical guide in the back, pulled that up and cut square. Then I worked my way around with a traveling guide till I hit this area, the side area. And now I'll show you from the front what that looks like. So here's my guide from the crown, that square guide right there, okay? I'll take my next section, and I'm working off of that center parting. I'm taking horizontal sections across the top. Everything is then over directed back to that stationary guide. So traveling guide in the back, stationary guide in the front. Here we go. So you can see I'm just pulling that straight up and then working with that upstroke. There. Continue down. Very easy pattern. I think sometimes we overcomplicate things when everything really comes back to the basics. Everything comes back to layering, one length, and graduation, doesn't it? It's the only thing we can do. We can also over-direct. So if you've been in one of my classes, like say like I've been in your class or something, let me know if you've been in one of my classes. We go over this a lot, that there are rules and there are laws. And rules have to be, or broken, rules are meant to be broken, but laws have to be obeyed. And the laws of hair cutting are that you have one length layering in graduation, and if you elevate the hair, cut it to an increase in length, you're going to create layers. It's going to be a removal of weight. Oh yay, you've been in my class, yay. Oh, somebody just said, feels very much like a reverse butterfly cut. Absolutely, and when you think about it, all the names that are out there right now, they're for the clients. It helps them to decide what they want. And then it's up to us to like figure out, okay, which butterfly cut, what was that one? So there's one that's been to a class in Ohio. Awesome, thank you. I'm going to be coming out soon with my schedule for next year. So kind of watch for that. I'll be in a lot of different areas. There's that length coming forward. Okay, now we're going to take out the back and kind of see what we've created here. Okay, I always love this diagonal forward type of shag because it feels a little bit different. To me, it feels a little bit fresher right now. What would I call this haircut? Let's call it the reverse butterfly. It's the moth haircut. No, it's the caterpillar haircut. Yeah, caterpillar, reverse butterfly. Okay, so you can see we've got that like a nice shorter type of feeling right through the back, and it's getting longer in through that front area. So I'm kind of digging that actually. Okay, I was saying I'm going to be in some different areas. You hope there's a class in Seattle. Well, I'll be in Seattle next week, but not for a class. But with this, we can go with the side swept fringe in front. We could go, why don't we do that? Let's do a side swept because there's been so many, what do I want to say, shag cuts that are really short in the middle and they're just gorgeous. You know, they come down and like frame the face. This is maybe for someone who wants a lot of layers, but they don't want those bangs. They want a little bit more hair. So I'm going to do a side swept fringe. And then I'm also going to go in, and as I'm looking at this, I'd like to see just a little bit of blending through the sides. So the disconnection back here is relatively strong. So we've got our layering pattern that was cut up here, and then I've got my length that was down. So that's the difference that we have in length. There's quite a bit of difference. So I want a little bit of blending, but not completely connected. So I'm actually going to, since I just dropped my razor, I'm going to use my carve and slide scissors. Now, okay, someone's heard of this as an inverted shag. That would make sense. Like a reverse inverted shag. I could buy that explanation. Okay, I'm going to use my carve and slide scissors, and many of you have asked about these, and these are the ones that are traditionally considered a dry cutting scissor, but I love them because they don't cut a straight line. They push the hair based on the rounded blades, and so it's really nice if you've been working with a razor cut and you've transferred and the hair is dry and you don't want to use the razor on dry hair. These are perfect for that. Or let's say someone doesn't want a razor cut because some people are scared of the razor because they've had a bad experience. These are a good alternative. So I'm going to pick this up. I can see where my hair is right here. And then I'm just going to come through and gently lift away as I'm cutting, like that. I feel like I can't see. There we go. So I'm not going to grab every hair. It doesn't need to be completely blended. So I can see where that is. And you can see that, just that beautiful blend. Oh, you guys, we are having, or I'm having, I should say, Black Friday sale. So it's Black Friday through Cyber Monday. And we're doing 25% off all of my angel blades. So you'll see lots of advertisement coming for it, but I believe the, I forget what the code is, but I can put it in the caption. But we're doing that Black Friday through Cyber Monday sale. So watch for that and grab your angel blades. So here we go. Just that small amount of blend. It's going to be really pretty. Here we go. So I'm not digging into the bulk of the bottom. I kind of want to leave a little bit of fullness. I think that we're seeing a little bit more of a structure to the bottom lines. They're not quite as wispy as they were, just because things change and people want something a little bit different. So yes, these are my own brand of scissors. Yes, I developed these actually during COVID, and you've probably seen me work with the white angel blades mostly, but I do have a silver series. We just came out with a swivel for all of you swivels out there. They'll all be on sale. You can go to seriousbeauty.com. That's my website. And then just go to the tools section. And we'll be posting the code for our Black Friday sale, so don't worry about that. And yeah, grab yourself a pair of angel blades. They're normally $4.99. The carbon slides are actually $5.49, and they'll all be 25% off. So look at that, just that really shaggy, kind of a textury type of feel. I like that. Yes. Okay, here we go. Continuing my blend, just ever so slightly. I always like to change up what's going on in the hair. Even if it's just a little change, it's fresh for the clients and fresh for you as a hairdresser. We can't do the same thing just over and over and over again. We really do need to, be creative, feed our creative spirits. And so using different tools or different techniques will always be something that I'm a big fan of. Okay, switching back to my razor, let's do a side swept fringe for her. And I like how this is, I'm going to change my mind. I really want this to just be something that could go either direction. Just looking at it, I love the front right now. I think it's really cool. So instead of actually parting this off, I'm just going to pull some pieces, twist and cut. So it will be very random. It's not actually going to be any type of fringe. It's just going to be random, which sometimes is the best, I think. So just a little twist, not cutting every hair. This would be just based on what you want to see. Let's say on that client, maybe one of their eyebrows is really beautiful and you just want to be able to peek into that a little, which would be really nice. So let's say that's over here. And I just want to be able to see a little bit more. I want it to be a little bit more transparent. Now, for my Sharp Scissors Society members, we've been going through an entire course on disconnection, how to disconnect, where to disconnect. And for those of you that don't know, my Sharp Scissors Society is my membership program. And we do all sorts of things in there. We get live videos, I do some pre-recorded classes, and we dive deep into the design elements of hair cutting. And right now, like I said, we're working with disconnection. So here we go, I'm digging that. So she can wear this either direction or in the middle. Yeah, you love the idea of enhancing the eye, yeah. Or, you know, say somebody has a really beautiful cheekbone area and you just want to make an area more transparent. You can work the razor flat. So let's say right here. And I just want to make this a little more see-through. So I'm going to work flat and not really take away all of the hair, but I'm just taking away enough that it becomes a little more see-through in that area. These are the little things that as artists we do and create a personalized shape for someone. Can you watch this again? Someone is asking. Yes, I will be posting this on my, just on my regular feed for you to watch. And for those of you who haven't looked at my subscription, I'm starting to work on that finally. And it's going to be all about design. So as I'm cutting my client's hair, I'm talking through the design. So let's see. Needs to be, oh yeah, we need to be fresher than our competitors, for sure. Everybody, I mean, you can do a lot of great hair cutting out there. Okay, so here we go. Oh, somebody asked, do I have specials for your membership next year? I hadn't thought of that. Maybe. I like that idea. I'm going to think about it. Okay, so this is the Conscious Style styling putty. Yeah, styling putty. And this gives just a nice soft feeling to the hair. It has a carnauba wax to it, so it's very, very moldable. And you can dry it into the hair, you can let the hair air dry. Ooh, thank you. I'm really liking this shag. I think this is really a pretty one. And doesn't this look fresh, just having a little bit of this lengthen through that front instead of it being short, but it still has that same feeling of opening up and being able to see through it. Okay, here we go. You could make it a little more 60s if you wanted to, and kind of, you could bring this in a little more. I love that. Oh my gosh. Does anybody, should I do that? Somebody say yes. Somebody say yes, good. Should I pull that in? I'm going to do it. I think that looks so pretty. Okay, hang on. So I'm going to just kind of come across the top. Remember, just working flat. Not removing all of the bulk out of the bottom, but just working across that edge. It is very 60s or 70s. Yeah, everybody's like, yes, take it off. Okay, here we go. So I'm not removing all of the hair. You can see that I'm just kind of like peeling away, almost like I'm peeling a carrot. I'm just taking off those little layers, and that's just cupping that in right underneath the occipital bone. Does anybody else wish they could cut their own hair and just do something like this on it? I think that'd be so awesome. Love it, love it. You know, one thing that I'm thinking about doing, yeah, very cool, is in my travels next year is potentially staying maybe a day or like an extra day in the different cities I go to. So I spend a lot of time in New York, down in Florida, all over the place actually, and doing some cuts and getting models to do stuff like this on. So, you know, some really fun things. So DM me if you're interested in that, because I would love to just be able to create. Okay, somebody said, oh, I forgot what the question was. Okay. There we go. And then, I think everybody's a fan of these little flat clips. I like these ones from Veris because they're a little bit bigger. So you can, you know, you have a little bit more control over what's happening. There we go. Yes, I've been to Arizona. Okay, just kind of here. So making, in styling, making holes in the shape. So almost using your fingers like a claw to create different, come in here, and push the hair in. Yeah, there we go. Okay, just a little diffusing, then we'll release her. Something like this doesn't really need to be completely dried. It's going to sit really nicely without without it drying out so much. So once again, the way that we created this was by sectioning out the underneath. So I pinned that out of the way, then went through with a parting right across the top at the high point of the head. The back was done with a traveling guide. So I pulled everything, took pivoting sections, pulled everything straight up and cut it square. Then as I moved into the front, I took horizontal sections and over-directed everything back just to that stationary guide. That created this length in through the front. So we have a different type of a shag. Most of the shags right now are shorter in the front. There, I think that's enough. Oh, there we go. Oh, Angel Blade Scissors just said Black Friday 2023 is the code for our Black Friday sale. Thank you, my husband manning my Angel Blade Scissors, I think. Okay. Everything has been very, very much pulled forward and cut and traveling back away from the face. So this is a fresh little cut for you guys where we actually pulled the top back instead of forward and created more length around the front. Okay,